1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2.
Nice and close. Hello. One more angle from there.
One, two. Got this one.
Oh, is that a camera link one? There's some, we've lost loads of those clamps that fit to those mics. They're designed specifically for those mics. God knows where they are.
They might be losing the
But have you got enough audio? Is there enough audio coming this way?
Yeah,
You can hear it. We're going to get an audience in a minute, and that will soak up most of the sound. So is your audio level controlled by the master out?
yeah,
If I turn that master up, you're going to muffle a lot of it. Feedback issue, yeah, that's the problem. Testing, 1, 2, 3, 4. Testing, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. Testing, 1, 2.
Hello everyone. Money. The microphone's working, which is a wonderful start to the proceedings. Welcome to our second instalment of Question Time. I don't know if you watched yesterday's one, but it was a packed house, so it's good to see so many of you here today. It really is. For those who didn't see yesterday, we'll talk you through the process of today. So we're going to ask the candidates to come up in a particular order. They're going to give a speech, each for a minute, discussing their sort of manifestos and what they plan to do for the coming year. Following this, we'll ask the candidates a series of questions from the Students' Union and then offer it out to the floor. When questions are offered out to the floor, you can say the question and I'll just repeat it into the microphone just for the people who are watching. I'm sure there are a lot of people watching in the canteen right now, so yeah, I'll send that through, okay? So if I could invite Tyler, Sophie, Brian and Jack, so the candidates for Vice President Student Activities to the front. Just give speeches in the following order, so it's Tyler first, Sophie, Brian and then Jack.
Okay, hi, my name is Tyler Perks and I'm running for VP of Student Activities. If I get elected, my main aims are equality for all sports students and societies, no matter how big or small. Every society, everyone in sports, everyone is a student at Worcester and deserves to be treated equally. I want to increase the amount of sports clubs and societies. I hope to do this by encouraging everyone and anyone to start a society. I'll take them through the 6-step process that the SU has to offer. I want to increase the opportunities of fundraising. The SU is a charitable organisation, so it would be good to raise more money for them. It's also a great chance for societies to raise money for themselves. I will offer a meeting for each society to discuss ideas and set up an event for them. I want to increase recognition for all sports clubs and societies. I want an advertising board in each campus. I want to heavily promote and encourage people to go to home fixtures, tournaments, shows and events. I want to increase the society-specific trips. Sports gets a lot of the attention, so I'd like to set up and give society something back. So I'll help set up, promote and fund society-specific trips. I also want to keep Wednesday afternoons lecture free, so I'll lobby with the Uni and NUS to make sure this happens. Vote Perks for Progress.
And now Sophie.
Hi everyone, my name's Sophie and I'm running for Vice President of Student Activities. I'm currently a third year student and I've been involved with the Student Union for all my time here. Within the past 2 years, I've taken an active role within ladies football and this has been as a social sec and captain this year. I've unlocked the growth and development that the union has gone through over the past few years. Taking this into account, I want to give something back using the knowledge and experience I've gained. My 3 aims, if I was to be elected, were to gain a better partnership and rapport within the university and the SU, striving to use the success of academia to promote sports and societies and their achievements as a motivational tool. Enable societies to work alongside the student union and promote their activities and events, and push the university into taking away Wednesday lectures, ensuring that everyone can take part in sports. Thank you very much for listening and I hope I have your support on what I want to achieve in the current year of the Students' Union.
And then can Brian go next please?
Good afternoon everybody, my name is Ryan Brown, I'm running for Sports and Activities VP. You've had a lot of information in front of you already. I'm a 4th year sports therapist, so I'm kind of a granddad up here compared to everyone else. I've been involved with American football for all my 4 years. I've been chairman for 2, club captain for 1. My main aims are to improve the training slots we all have at the moment for sports teams and room booking for societies. Sometimes clubs get less than they need to. There's opportunities for more slots to be given. Improve S&C and the criteria surrounding S&C and why bigger clubs get more S&C slots and why can't we give more S&C slots to the smaller clubs and these ones who want to build up to become one of the top levels. Why is it that we're neglecting these teams? Non-performance teams as well, I said the criteria, improve the criteria and get these sports up to a level that can compete. Non-varsity sports, make sure they're competition ready, get them nationwide, involved in as many competitions as they possibly can so they're not neglected as well. Bridge the gap between sports and societies. I feel as if there's a gap that's been created and I think through socials and through better communication we can definitely bridge a gap and get more societies involved in the sports teams and more sports involved in the societies events. Thank you for listening.
finally, Jack Bruce.
Hi, I'm Jack Moore. I'd like to be considered for the role of Vice President of Student Activities in your student union. I'm currently a PE and outdoor education student who's been heavily involved within Rugby Society for the past 3 years. I've thoroughly enjoyed my time here at Worcester. I think I've worked really hard, I've made some lasting memories, and I've made friends for life. I truly believe the reasons why I've enjoyed my time at university is because I've been so heavily involved in societies and activities. And with this in mind, if I was selected to become your VP of Student Activities, then I'd make it one of my priorities to ensure that all students have the opportunity to take part in student activities. I also want to increase the profile of all sports and societies around the student union, and this could be through weekly roundups that are posted on social media and also hard copies that are posted around the university. And furthermore, I also believe that there should be an increased awareness of volunteering opportunities around university and make it easier for students to be able to log their volunteering hours online. Thank you.
Okay, so now what we'll do now is we shall ask a couple of questions from the Students' Union and then put it out to the floor. So if there's anybody who'd like to ask their candidates some questions, that's fine. Once I've asked the question, if you put your hands up as soon as you have an answer, and then we'll just go in the order. Put your hands up. It's probably the easiest way to do it. Okay. So the first question from the Students' Union is: Students' Union and the university are currently redeveloping a strategic action plan for sport. What sports do you think the strategy should focus on? So who wants to go first?
I know that the uni and the student union working together, they're always actively trying to promote and develop sports ongoing. But I do believe that no one sport should ever have the upper hand on any other sport. I think equal development needs to go out for every sport within equal time. So time should be spent between all sports, developing a specific plan for each sport, and that they'll help them improve throughout the years at the university.
If Tyler would like to go.
Yeah, just to follow up on what Sophie said, that basically the whole equality thing. So I'll divide my time equally and help promote each club, as everyone is a student at Worcester, so everyone should be treated equally. So yeah, I think that we should divide up the time, and then yeah, that's it. Sorry.
Yeah, Ryan.
Like I said, very similar answers are probably going to come your way. I believe all sports should be considered. Each sport has individual needs. You've got societies that are made up of 40, 50 students, societies that are made up of only 10 to 7 students. But they all need to have the same opportunities. They all need to be given, if it's a society, the same amount of times to rehearse, if it's rehearsals, if it's meetings, anything. With sports, it's about a matter of training slots and strength and conditioning slots. All these need to be the same, otherwise they're not going to develop at the same pace. And that's when teams fall behind. If the action plan is going to be successful, we need all teams to be on the same page and be working towards the same goal.
Yeah, I very much agree with that. All sports should have quite an equal playing field, but I'm aware that we do have performance teams, and one of my manifesto points is to increase the awareness of what they offer. So by doing that, we'll increase the amount of students that want to take part in these sports. And then I think when we get that right, that will filter through the whole union and the whole sports infrastructure of the SU, and that's the way we can increase the participation throughout all the sports.
Thank you. And then the second question from the union is, it's building on this slightly, but sort of steering away from sport. So the question reads: how would you support the development of academic societies? Who would like to go first?
So I'd set up a fortnightly meeting for all academic societies, so they can come in and talk about what they want to do and what we can do for them. Because we have monthly sports meetings now, but so I'd like to create that for academic societies as well.
Okay.
Reiterating to what Tyler said, keeping the contacts obviously always in place. One of the big things with societies is making sure that they are not neglected through overpowered by the sports, because a lot of focus is on the sports, and we are a very high performance sporting university. Making everyone aware, whether it's from the very beginning of the semester to the very end of the year, all societies need to be advertised better. I think sometimes you don't hear about what societies are doing enough. We've got a magazine that's been put in place from the SU this year called the Walk Hard, Play Hard magazine, and are we using that enough to advertise these societies and getting awareness out that these societies exist? What are they doing? What events are they doing? What are they wanting to bring to this university? And bringing that to the forefront of everyone's attention will definitely gather interest and hopefully increase memberships and increase their popularity.
Yeah, again, so I do my process of weekly roundups of news on social media, just to increase the profile of the academic societies. And I think it's really important at the minute we've got monthly meetings that take place between all societies, so we can really use them to boost the profile within the whole sporting side of the SU as well. Because you don't have to choose between sport and academic, you can do both. So I think it's really important that everyone gets behind them and we just increase the profile of them through that.
I think quite similar to what everyone else has said, I think it's quite an important fact that societies do get an equal opportunity to promote themselves around the union. But also I think by gaining a better partnership with the university, I think everyone can see a lot of posters, of sports posters around the university, but we don't really see enough about societies. So I think by gaining a better partnership within the university, it'll help really bridge that gap and bring everyone together so everyone feel comfortable for promoting themselves.
Thank you very much. I'd like to open the floor to any questions. If we have any today. Yes. Yeah. So the question from the corner there was around the manifesto point of Wednesdays off lectures and if this would create bias towards sports teams. And if it's actually attainable at the universities.
Yeah, I've done some prior research into this, and a university that has recently actually got this clearance is Goldsmiths. It did take some time, but they've now cleared it for all students, it's not just sports students, and that's my aim too. Because I know it's great for sports students on a Wednesday, but I want it clear for all students, because then people can get stuff like placement hours in and stuff like that, so it won't be just sports students, it'll be for everyone.
It's not on my manifesto because I honestly disagree with the fact that Wednesdays should be free for everybody. I think if you were to make Wednesdays free for everybody, I do agree that actually you could be swinging bias towards sports and the societies. I think if we were to make Wednesdays free for everybody, that makes lecturers suffer as well, and that would then make that evening lectures and morning lectures will take priority, and that means that training times and training attendance would be significantly reduced, and I think that would be taking sports and societies actually backwards in their attendance, and I think that it would be a bad idea to make Wednesdays free for everybody. Unfortunately, the university have their set timetables, and we can do what we can, and we can try and make it so it's friendly to sports. But in terms of getting rid of Wednesday lectures altogether, I do not believe it's attainable.
Sophie?
I think within taking away Wednesday lectures, not only does it help sports people take part in the sports so they don't have to miss their lectures, they don't have to miss the sports, because I do know personally from being in ladies football, being in a sport has kept me at uni. It makes me feel like I'm in a family, and I've really gained a bond with a lot of people. But it also gives societies a chance to meet up within that day, get that practice in. If you're in loco, you get to practice the show that you're doing. It's not just specifically for sport, but it also gives every other society within the uni a chance to meet up and really bond over what they all love to do. And I have also done a bit of research, and I've been aware that the Wednesday lectures, they've only just started taking place over the past couple of years. So I do feel like if they were pushed and they did get a chance to be taken away, it would benefit not only sports students but also societies.
Yeah, I did include it in my manifesto. I don't think it would be feasible personally, because I think as the university grows, it's just not possible to clear the whole of Wednesday for everybody. As much as I'd love everyone to play sport on a Wednesday, because I'm from a sporting background, I just think for those people who don't have the opportunity, it just means in this position we have to create more opportunities for those people who can't get involved on a Wednesday because of that. So I think it's very much down to us as a student union, as VPs of activities, to make that available to those students.
Thank you. Is there any more questions from the floor? Yes, Okay, so the question was, how can you help all sports teams and societies get access to teams?
This is on my manifesto. I work at the Sports Centre, which has given me an insight into what actually facilities are available to us. And I'm telling you now, we do not at all take advantage of our facilities. We have got weekends that are just bare and empty. And that the Sports Centre sometimes tell us that it's actually for, you know, external bookings, yet on Saturday afternoons, the 3G is free. And then obviously students work, students got their own stuff to do on Saturdays. But if sports clubs have got big games coming up, I'm talking varsity here, you know, you want to do an extra slot to prepare for varsity, there is 5 hours of prime time training slot, full 3G for you to do. For room bookings, you know, I've heard that loco sometimes get kicked out of rooms that they want to be practicing in. We've got sports hall that's free, why can't they use that? We are not using our facilities well enough at all. The arena is open weekends. We've got plenty of opportunities to use these facilities for our sports teams, and I don't think we're aware of it. And I think if we were to make you guys aware of it like I have now, and I think if we were to work in the future to get you guys extra training slots, we'll do push on and become better in the sports, better in the community, and better overall as a union.
Yeah, just adding on to what Ryan said, I try and work with the Sports Centre and try and get a booking system online on the SU where you can actually then put them time slots which you can see through, and you can see what other teams and what other teams are doing. So I try and work with the Sports Centre to make that happen, so then you know when you can book slots.
Yeah, I think again that's quite important because we should be making the most of our facilities. So it's something that I should be working very closely with the university to make sure that people are aware of what we have to offer, and that comes down to increasing the awareness around our sports and societies. So at the start of the year you can make it fully aware to the committee members of all the clubs of exactly what we can offer, exactly when, and then it's up to you as a club or society to make the most of that.
I think along with what everyone else has said, going back to the first point of redeveloping, I think it's come across with being the captain of ladies football, I think it's come as an issue that only performance teams really get a chance to go in the S&C suite in the arena. That's a big problem in my eyes, as I do feel like every sport should get a chance to be 50-50, and therefore I think it's key to get everyone a chance to book their training slots, make more available, whether it is on a weekend, whether it's late at night. I think we do need to make the use of our facilities, but S&C is a big one for all teams and not just performance, because I don't think anyone should be put down or not given the chance to train just because they're not a performance team. I think it's all in that redeveloping.
Thank you. So we'll take one more question from the floor and then we'll take a final question from the student. Josh.
Just wondering how you plan to increase active participation when it comes to volunteering?
So the question was, how do you plan on increasing active participation in volunteering? Yeah, Tyler.
So first of all, I'd start promoting and what sort of achievements and stuff you can get out of it. So obviously the Oscars Awards and stuff like that, I'd promote that and promote how big it is and what you can get out of it yourself. And obviously you make sure you just promote all the different things for it. So obviously making friends and stuff like that. So I'd really publicise the Oscars Awards.
Sorry, may I ask, in what kind of volunteering sense are you talking about? Are you talking about getting people involved with clubs or externally into clubs? Yeah. Right, yeah. So a lot of the sports teams, as well as societies, are involved in their sport because they love what they do. And a big part of our university is coaching and leadership. We could set up plenty of programs that send you guys into schools and teach your sport, volunteer in the community and give back to what Worcester has given us as a university, which is a great place to attend. You know, there are plenty of schools in this area. Let's get out into the community and let's get the University of Worcester better relationship with the community, get people volunteering in sports, get people volunteering in schools, and put ourselves back on the map in the community as a positive influence in Worcester.
Yeah, this is something I think the SU can improve quite a bit on as part of my manifesto. So I really want to boost the awareness of the volunteering opportunities that the university can offer. I really want to create some links with people that we can perhaps set programs up with. I want the SU to have its own volunteering page a lot more efficient than what we already have. And then also I want monthly roundups, kind of like what they do in Pearson with the part-time job, the little briefing they do. I'd like one of those to go around the SU, so it's a lot easier for people to access the volunteering opportunities.
Yeah, agreeing again with what everyone's saying. I think promotion through societies and sport clubs, I think people really need to be aware of the fundraising and the volunteering that goes on currently, but it can always be improved. So I know of a few sports and societies that have done some fundraising events and some volunteering personally, but I do believe that, like everyone said, that the SU can improve that. And as Vice President of Student Activities and Fundraising, I feel like if given an opportunity to promote it a bit more and show what has been done and what can be done, then it will make a bigger development within the uni and the society.
Thank you. And then a final question from the Students' Union. Again, going down the lines of a few of the things you mentioned. You talked about bridging the gap between sports clubs and societies. How would you tackle this?
So, a big part of my manifesto was what we can do with socials and making sure that, as well, societies are involved with sports and sports are involved with societies. And I think part and parcel of the reason why it's not successful at the moment is that we don't do enough together as the Grand Off teamwork. If we can get people having socials together in the SU, let's create a bond between the entire university, clubs and societies. You know, an example would be here in the SU, international beer pong tournament, every society able to 10 people, something like that. It's not saying that's going to be the feasible part of it, but let's get people more involved with each society. Let's develop social connections and make people want to go. Let's make the rugby team want to go and watch the Loco show. Let's make Loco want to go stand in a muddy field on a Wednesday and watch rugby. Let's create that bond between these societies and not just support each other at varsity. Make it every semester, every game, every Wednesday, we all go support each other. And that's the aim for teamwork.
I think at the moment there's not enough awareness. So from a sporting perspective, there's not enough awareness of what the societies do, and vice versa. I think in giving the societies and the sports equal opportunity to promote, I feel like this could bridge the gap, not only because you'd be seeing everything, but then you'd get that understanding. I think just by going out and speaking to people and finding out what people do, what Loco do, what Harry Potter Social do, by finding that out, you might find something in common with someone, something so little that could make a bigger bond, and then you can go and have a joint social or meet up and find new friends.
Yeah, I'd like to use bridge the gap by using the monthly meetings that already take place. I think that's really important to kind of build relationships between sports clubs and societies. I think it's really important the student union promote more events and promote more fundraising events. This doesn't just have to be individual societies, so this could be a whole teamwork thing, every single society, sport or otherwise, coming together and raising money for charity or something like that. I think that's kind of one of the ways we can start to build relationships with each other.
Yeah, following from what everyone else said, I'd like to set up the monthly meetings as well, so that means that everyone could talk to each other and tell each other what you're doing. So if you are setting a fundraising event, or like Ryan said about going to different games and stuff like that. And another thing is you could do fundraising together, like inter societies and inter clubs, because that way then you get to work with each other and you can fundraise together and raise more money for the SU, and then make new friends and bring everyone together.
Okay, thank you. So that brings us to the close of questions. Let's go back at this one. If we could invite the candidates for Vice President Education up next. Okay, so now to the second of the four parts of today's hostings. much the same process. If we have James Capel-Sturck speak first, then Ewan, and then James Brennan.
Hi guys, my name is James Capel-Sturck, running for Vice President for Education. I'm currently in my last year of sport coaching and development. I've enjoyed my time here at the university so much. I've made loads of friends. What I mainly want to stand for education is to reach the students that kind of feel a bit isolated. Sort of my main focus on manifesto is reaching out to the ones suffering from anxiety, mental health issues, issues that affect them outside of university that initially have an effect on their studies. I want to focus on the support groups, such as similar to societies, for them to bring together their issues and give them guidance that they need. I'm number one for the students, so Worcester, please.
Hi, my name is Ewan Morrison, and I'd like to be considered for the role of Vice President of Education. I'm a third year major geography and minor history student, and since coming to Worcester I've really enjoyed my time here, and I fully believe that the work of the Students' Union has played a massive part in this. I've sat on the rugby teams committee for 2 years, and I'm currently chairman of that, and I've also sat on the student council for the last 2 years, which I've been holding the role of the Bucks team rep. These roles have given me the opportunity to provide input on all sorts of issues and challenges that the Students' Union face, and it's a role I've really enjoyed. If elected, I'd like to work on a few things. Work alongside the University Career Service to provide an improved careers fair at the uni. Increase the effectiveness of the STAR system and institute reps. Organise some course-based events towards the start of the year to help people meet their course mates and build relationships, and also continue to lobby the university for the various issues that the Students' Union face. As your Vice President, I would like to include as many of you as possible in the process and represent your wishes to the best of my ability.
Hi everyone, my name is James Brennan. I'm currently a fourth year physical education and sports studies student. I've been heavily involved in my time in the Students' Union with the American football team. I've served on their committee for 3 years. This past year I've also served as the Institute representative for sport and exercise science. Coming from this, it's given me a bit of an insight into the role of Vice President of Education, and has helped form a manifesto. My manifesto is centred around 3 key points, first of which is one I'm very passionate about. It's mitigating circumstances. I very much believe it's a system that, whilst it does work, it's one that could be improved, and a system that many of you may not have actually interacted with, but will need to know how it supports you when you actually need it and that time comes. And it's particularly around long-term health and supporting those people going through longer-term issues with mental and physical health. Secondly, I wish to improve the organisation and the overall effectiveness of the STAR system and how your voice is represented towards the Students' Union and then greater to the university. And finally is also how the university shares this information in regards to academic issues. This is very much a case I've learned this year that while the information is out there in terms of procedures, it's not as easily accessible for everyone here. It's very much presented in size 12 font, and your job is then to try and find the information as opposed to it being readily available for you to access and deal with any issues. And when the vote's open, if you could please vote JB for VP, that'd be very much appreciated.
Thank you very much, all. So the first question for the Students' Union is, we have run many successful academically focused campaigns throughout the year. What one thing would you do, if elected, to improve the educational experience of students here at Worcester?
As I said, one thing I'd like to focus on primarily is the information sharing process. I think the SU this past year has done a very good job in terms of its campaigns in raising awareness to certain systems, like the Personal Academic Forum for STARS that was held just a few weeks ago. I'd like to look at how the information is actually shared in terms of course information. Also trying to make people more aware of who their STARS Institute representatives are, by possibly looking to install on Blackboard course pages that would have course information such as your course leader, who the STARS are and who the Institute reps are, so you know who to go to if there are any issues, and also operate an open door policy and make sure that's aware that if there is any issues, the Students' Union is there for you to support you in every way possible.
Yeah, Ewan?
So I think as much as coming to university is about getting a degree, I think you've also got to be provided with opportunities that you can take forward. That's partly what I mentioned in my manifesto. I'd like to see an improved careers fair, because I think it's important for people to not only just get the degree, but to be able to speak to potential employers, that sort of thing, gains that sort of skills, and kind of learn from where they can improve their opportunities from when they also leave university.
I think to find out how to improve students' education experience at the university, the main thing you have to do is actually communicate with students, actually get them kind of to tell you what they need, sort of thing. So maybe like with the whole mental health support group that I want to focus on, maybe have a monthly thing online or a form that students can fill out how they feel about how their life at university is going. So then I can see what's happening, so I can then change things for the student's experience. Because if you think about it, every student is different, every student has their own opinion and experiences at university. So I like to be able to change for them, as in like reach out to individual students to make their education experience a lot better.
And then our second question is, how would you ensure the Students' Union is a relevant place to all students, including those on placement, commuters and those attending partner colleges? So how would you ensure the Students' Union is relevant to all students, including those on placement, commuters and those attending partner colleges? You got this?
Yeah. So I mean, same for whoever, whatever category people fall in, the SU will play a totally different role. So it's not a one-size-fits-all approach that you can take. Whether that be that we identify that certain events work for people who are placement-based, so we can say, look, we'll try and organise an event to take the pressure off. Maybe the people off the placement, they'll be busy then. Oh, we'll organise an event for when they come off the placement, they can all meet up, enjoy themselves at the Students' Union. But I think the most important thing is just keeping the dialogue open, keeping them involved by showing what we're doing, promoting that through the social media channels and things like that.
Yeah, just to illustrate what you said, just make sure you have the partnerships always open, have communication, whatever the student union is needed for, we need to offer those facilities and opportunities for those groups. So if we keep in regular contact with those and keep asking them what they need and if they're happy, then I think that can be achievable.
I think this question is in two parts. How we address it for those who are on long-term placements on more professional courses and those who are also members of the partner colleges. In regards to those on professional courses, I'd like to lean heavily on the Stars Institute reps. They're going to be the people that have the best ideas of what issues and what services they need provided from the Students' Union and from the Vice President of Education. Also tailored events like you previously mentioned to them when they are actually on campus and trying to have as much contact time with them when they are on campus. In regards to partner colleges, that would be liaising heavily with the academic staff who head up these partnerships with colleges, such as our new one with College Gwent, and making sure that the courses that are being delivered in conjunction and accredited by the university, we're still representing their views and their academic views on these courses as best we can, based here in Worcester, even though they aren't here with us.
Thank you very much. Are there any questions from the floor that you would like to ask? Okay, so just quickly, that was another question for Wednesday lectures. What is the candidate's perspective on clearing Wednesday lectures? So if you go, James Ronan and James.
I feel like as this is an issue that is not going to be readily resolved. Unfortunately, with the way the university is currently expanding, which I think is a very good thing, it's offering more courses and better qualifications. The university has had to adapt its timetabling policy system, an issue that we experienced this year. Because of that, we need to maximise the facility use, which is what the candidates for student activities have talked about, which means it's not going to be as likely and feasible that we can clear an entire day off the calendar without having a negative effect on mature students. For example, if we clear an entire day off of their calendar, then where are the lecture times going to be made up? Is it going to be made up in the evenings? Does that mean they're going to have to arrange extended periods of childcare? That could severely disadvantage a group of students that aren't necessarily represented as well. And also then pose issues for other stuff within the SU in terms of stars and institute reps. A lot of those meetings are held in lecture off time, as in with conjunction with lecturers. If you're clearing an entire day off that calendar, it makes the organisation of that system a lot harder, and a challenge that has been posed against us this year even greater.
Yeah, I have the same opinion on that. I don't think Wednesdays should be cleared out of sport. Education, people come to university for education. Not saying that sport isn't important. Education, you can't just, like James said, you can't clear a whole day off the calendar, because you have, as a student, I bandaged my whole life around university, so with other issues going on, I can't have a whole day off, because I'm thinking to myself, where can I make up that time that I've lost on Wednesday? So like James said, the university can't afford a whole day off the calendar just to make up for one sport or a sports society.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate that the role that sports societies play in providing the opportunities for people to grow as people, you could say, is really valuable. Unfortunately, the reality is we've all come to university for a degree, and at present, with the expansion of the population at this uni and the fact that facilities haven't grown at the same pace, we appreciate that the facilities, even lecture halls for the lecturers, isn't always going to be available to get rid of if we got rid of a whole day's worth of stuff. I mean, I think the new timetabling system that was introduced the last few years, I think that's been a big improvement, because it does give you that option. Like, I would like to not have my lectures on a Wednesday, and personally, that helps me, and I think that's probably the best way forward.
So, student academic representatives have been talking about how you can improve that system implemented.
Yeah, I mentioned this yesterday in the debate as well. In an ideal world, we have the stars for each course, and they feed back to the institute reps, and we've got the representation on the student council. The reality is that's not always going to happen, and sometimes less can be more, in the fact that if we've got a more engaged group, we can actually be much more productive in the change we bring about. Perhaps having open institute meetings where people can just drop in, even if they're not involved in the STAR system, they can voice their ideas, recurring issues that they had, things like that. But also for some of the key positions, like on the student council, I'd really like to see all of the institute rep positions on the student council filled, because I think that's important when the student council is analysing different proposals or various issues.
I feel like that first of all, we do need greater representation of the student body of 10,000 students and 500 stars. That's not the sheer volume, and we need more representation. We also need to ensure that the stars are more active. And one thing I'd like to do that is make it a bit more organised, make people aware in general of what the star system is there for and who their stars are. Having a course page on Blackboard listing the stars for your course and have the information readily available, I think is a great thing. And also make sure that the stars are active and liaising with their institute reps. In regards to institute meetings, the institute reps are those who represent the stars, so it's making sure that the messages are being passed on in a timely manner so that they can be addressed by the institute representatives in the best format with the academics.
Yeah, I agree with everything that you've heard here. I think more advertisement of the reps need to be made so people know who they are, know what they do. Obviously, like for the population of the university, 500 stars isn't a lot. So I think having, like you said, having an open door, the student union, so people feel like they can come in and obviously speak to us with their concerns and their issues as well. So the people who aren't stars feel like they can still come forward with the issues and feel like they can be addressed as well.
And then a final question for the student union, which I think is very interesting for you, so when I see how you answer this. Is if universities can demonstrate excellence in both quality teaching and experience for students, should they be able to increase their fees?
What this comes in line with is the test report that's currently come out. Essentially what this is the government's proposed a three-tier system and actual league table based for universities. So what this happens is the university will be ranked as bronze, silver or gold. In my opinion, if a university is ranked silver or gold, they should be able to raise their fees within the rules of the government. These fees doesn't mean they're uncapped, it means they're a slight increase in terms of interest rates. What this also means is that a university that's accredited gold makes your degree worth more. So if your degree is higher accredited and worth more, it also means there's going to be great resources put into your degree to help develop the university constantly. I feel like Worcester as a university as a whole that has benefited from the increase in student loans. I'm not saying that I'm for it personally, I'm saying as a university it's benefited greatly in terms of the facilities and the academic development that it has provided the university.
No, I don't think universities should be allowed to raise their fees. I don't know if I'm biased because I'm from Scotland. Obviously they don't pay up there. I mean, you shouldn't be limited to what university you can attend. If you think, oh well, actually that one's a bit more expensive, will I be able to afford that sort of thing? So, I mean, it's a sense that if that was introduced, it would essentially be, well, it has been introduced. It got passed last year, was it? It is a bit of a tax on education. You know, it's not fair for students that come from a poor financial background.
If I could just very quickly interrupt, I believe the vote is just open, everyone. Dennis wanted to come and show everyone. Wait a second, it's coming. It's a grand unveil. There we go. Give a round of applause, please. I don't know about you, but I can't wait to see the back of that guy. James.
Yeah, as much of you might agree with me, fees shouldn't be raised. Students in college, sixth form, they're stressed about exams, all you're thinking about is getting the grades to get to the university that you want to go to. Think about having to think about, oh, can I afford that now? Like you said, families from poorer backgrounds struggle to get their children to university, and they're really, really proud of the kids that do. So imagine having more fees, having more money, then that means that's less population in the universities as well. So I think fees shouldn't be raised regardless on how well a university is doing. And the university should be acknowledged rather than like having to raise their fees for more money.
So that brings us to the debate for candidates for Vice President of Education. And then if I could invite candidates for President. Okay, so here we have our two candidates, Jade and Connor, for President this year. If I could ask Jade to give her speech first and then Connor second.
Okay. Alright, hi everyone, I'm Jade and I'm re-running for my position of President. This year has been great so far and I've really enjoyed the opportunity, but it has shown me how much we can improve as a union, and that is why most of my new manifesto has come from what I've actually learned from being in office. If I had to choose 3 of my main points to prioritise from a manifesto, it would be to continue working on mental health, ensuring that it stays on everyone's agenda. This is because that 1 in 5 people suffer from mental health issues, and with our population of 10,000 students, there's approximately 2,000 of our students potentially going through a difficult time. This is why I think it's really important and something the university and the union should be focusing on. As well as this, I think our early starting students on professional courses like nursing, paramedics, midwifery and teaching have a very different induction period, and I feel that the university and union again can do so much for them to ensure they feel involved and part of the community here at Worcester. Finally, I think there's so much more we can do at City Campus to make City students feel an SU presence and more involved in university life. I hope that students will feel these are important, and although some of the points only apply to certain groups of students, I've got lots of ideas to help all students by looking at things like employability, housing and other welfare issues like stress. So please support me and ensure we continue working towards the union's vision of representing and supporting students to develop and achieve. No matter who you're supporting today or this week, make sure you do vote. It is so important that you have your say as students. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, everyone. So my name's Connor Keeter, and I'm currently a third-year student doing sport and exercise science. And I'm running for president because I feel really strongly about student life. Coming to university, you get a degree, but alongside that, you're allowed to grow as a person and excel, make friends, make memories. And I think the SU plays a really important role in increasing student satisfaction at universities. And I'd love to be involved with the running of that and being involved with everyone's life in university. So if I was elected president, I would love to work on including students that live off campus. The increasing amount of people that live in student managed housing outside the student campus, and I feel like they get left out at times. So I think to increase them is to get involved in the SU a bit more, and get them down and make sure that there is cheap and affordable events at the SU. This also will increase the inclusivity of everyone, so I think that's really important about the student union. Another thing that I think the university's done really well this year is the introduction of lifts around the campus, but I think there's always more that we can do for the disability provisions, especially in student managed housing, making sure that all the houses are disability friendly. Another thing that I feel strongly about is nutritional information around the campus as well. With the growing obesity epidemic, I think it's really important that students, when they come to university, know about active and healthy lifestyles, and it's the first time they're going to be cooking for themselves, making sure that they're eating healthy and having the correct meals. So just to finish up, I would love to be working with the SU and to be a part of this great university and help the SU grow alongside it.
Thank you, David. So the first question for the Students' Union is, the Students' Union runs on a block grant from the university and from income on our commercial services. How would you try and increase both of these?
Okay, so I think it's really important. Although we are mostly funded by the university, that doesn't mean that we should stop looking for other sources of funding, because the more money that we have as a union, the more we can provide for students. That does by no means mean that we shouldn't let the university support us. I know some people may view the block grant as a way of us not being independent, but that's not something that it should be viewed on at all. The reason we get that money is so that we can support our students, and so by increasing it, it allows us the opportunity to do so much more for you.
Can you repeat the question? Is that all right?
Yeah, of course. So the Students' Union runs on a block grant from the university and from income from our commercial activity. How would you try and increase both of these?
So I agree with Jade. I think it's a really important factor. Then it's not something we should rely on, but at the same sense, it's something that's really helping students. And if we didn't have that, I don't think we would really be able to excel, especially as an SU.
Thank you, Connor. And then secondly, from the Students' Union, is most students will leave university in debt. Do you feel the university offers value for money? If yes, why? If not, how could it provide better value for money?
So I think, as many people you know, especially as we've been here for 3 years, this university is growing massively, and I think it's a really exciting time to be at this university. There's so many provisions coming in now and in the future that is going to make this university grow. So leading with that question, I think, yeah, it is great value for money, but it's also going to get even better value for money. And I think that the degree that you're going to get from this university, especially in a couple of years' time, is going to be really vital to people's success in the future.
Yeah, no, I do agree with bits of that. I do think it's really important that whilst we're growing population-wise, we ensure that the university are growing the facilities that we have at the same time, so that we can ensure that all of those students have lecture time, have space to do the things that they want to do in their own time. But I do think it's a really exciting time and that it provides good value for money.
Thank you. To the floor, any questions from presidential candidates? So Doug can ask a question just around what's in the manifestos, how you plan on building on these this year, and how you plan on sort of putting these into place.
Okay, so one thing I think that's like a good positive of being in the role for my time already, I've already built up the relationships with staff. I know who I need to contact regarding certain things, and I know who to talk to. I'd obviously make sure that at all times we're speaking to students, communicating with them, and finding out exactly what it is they want and how they want to be supported. There is no point in us putting provisions out there if students are not going to use them. So by speaking to our students and finding out what they want, it allows us the best results possible.
So I think leading on from that is where Jade said that she's been in the year, so she knows what she's doing. But I think for a lot of people, that people don't know what provisions there are. So especially the hardship fund, there is a lot of people in this university who struggle financially. And if there was increased information of how you can apply and who can apply, I think a lot of people would benefit from having that extra time, and it will take away things like stress from them and make sure they're having a better university life.
Thank you. We have a question from Twitter. Exciting revelation. So, Worcester University is doing research on suicide prevention among students. How would you propose to support this and students in this category?
Yeah. Okay, so one thing that I think is really important, that we are pushing out the services that we do provide from both the university and the union. One thing to consider about the suicide prevention thing that the university have in place at the moment is it is a working group from lots of different people within the university and the union coming together, sharing knowledge and sharing experience. A lot of people have criticised the university for having this research project, but it is actually something that's really good because it's a preventative cause, and it's something that happens via a snowballing effect. So ensuring that students know we have services such as Nightlines, such as Samaritans, that we can push and promote, it gives students the best opportunity to stop the problem before it may become a wider and bigger issue.
Yeah, so obviously suicide is a very touchy subject. It's very personal to a lot of people. I think there's a lot of research out there and increasing amounts of suicide rates at universities, especially that in males. And I think suicide prevention is really important because university is not easy, it's really difficult, and I know a lot of people get really stressed and really find it difficult to carry on. So I think the work that Jade's done already with the Nightline service has been fantastic, but I think we can always increase in that, increasing people's willingness to talk. I think that's really important, just to make sure that people open up, make sure they feel comfortable in the services that we run and that they're going to use them to the maximum that they can.
Is there any more questions from the floor? So, Francis asked, how would you propose a better communication between is it the student union and the student body?
Yeah, so as we spoke about earlier on, there's meetings that go on through sports societies, so that's one way that we're opening communication. I think the STARS as well with VP of Education, that's really important. But in the most simplest terms, it's all about having that kind of open door aspect so that anyone's allowed to come in and speak to us. If anyone has an issue, it's really important that we do that. But it's also down to us to make sure that we're getting out there, we're finding out what people need and want. So if anyone's got an issue, we need to be finding those people, asking what we can do and help them resolve those issues. So I think it's all down to us really being proactive and making sure that we're helping everyone that we can.
Yeah, sort of following on from that, obviously it's really important that we have an open door policy, but a lot of the communication issues will come from people actually not knowing us and what we're about. So I think a really important and key time for us to put ourselves out there is during that induction week at the start when everyone's joining, so we can maybe just simply ask people what is the best way that they would like to be communicated with. We have such a variety of students, mature students, students that are commuting in, that may not want to find out about things on Facebook or Twitter. So it's really important that we actually ask the students specifically how they would like to be talked to.
Thank you. We'll do two more questions, one for student union, and we've got another one from Twitter to finish off. So the penultimate question is, As the leader of the officer team, how will you help the three officers bond into a really effective and supportive team?
Okay, I think it's really important. Obviously, you'll be working together and spending a lot of time together, so it is essential, really, to the union that the three officers get on, and whether that's just a simple way of like doing stuff together, which I find that beginning period over summer when there's not students around, you get to spend a lot of time with each other, and it's just making sure that if there ever are any issues, you speak about them and deal with them initially, so that it's not left and then has a detrimental effect on the membership of the union.
So throughout my life, I've been from a sporting background, which I think is really helpful as it being in teamwork. I've also done Youth Rotary Leaders Award, which has helped me learn to work as a team. So that's two basic aspects which I think that the three roles really need to be vital and key. Being open across everyone, what everyone's doing, and supporting everyone's roles. Just because that I'll be present doesn't mean that I can't help anyone else who's VPA or VPE. And I think that all working through together as a conjunction is really important on a smooth run in SEU.
Thank you. And then finally, a question for an ex-president of the union, and again, another really interesting one in my opinion. So, the question to the candidates: if you were the Vice Chancellor for the day, what would you do? Any volunteers to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. Okay, if I was Vice Chancellor for the day, I think I would put myself out there a bit more, find out more about the students, not necessarily the ones that are excelling and doing really well, finding out about as many students as possible, the ones who are maybe not being noticed because they're just getting by, and finding out what it is that we can actually do as a university to provide more for them and make their experience better and ensure they can excel in every way possible whilst they're here.
Yes, I agree with that. I think it would be a great opportunity. But I think the Vice-Chancellor in his position can be a bit distant from especially the SU, things like sports teams and societies and what actually students are getting involved with in the university. So I think if I was Vice-Chancellor for the day, I'd spend my life as a student, go around and do what everyone is doing to make sure that the university is offering the best that they can do, and if anything's wrong, then fix that. I think that'd be really important.
Thank you very much. So that brings us to those questions for the president and candidates. Give a round of applause again. And we invite our candidate for NUS delegates.
Yeah. Hey. Hi everyone. I'm.
Right, so now for the final part of our debate today, which is for NUS delegate, which we have one candidate for, so if you'd like to just give your speech.
Okay, so hi everyone, my name is George French, and I'm running for NUS Conference Delegate. So what does NUS Conference Delegate mean? Bet not a lot of you have a clue, right? So delegate is someone that goes out and is representative of all of you lot, so all the students here. Conference is a big meeting around all the students at all the universities at the NUS. So what does NUS stand for? Well, it stands for me, it stands for you, it stands for all students at this university. So why not be represented by someone who actually wants to go out and do this? Why not vote for someone that wants to see representation of our university? Someone that's actually not throwing out the best positive campaign, because I don't like the NUS. It's not working for us. It's not doing anything for us. I want more visibility from our NUS. I want the NUS to work with national businesses and provide placements for students. And if you feel disconnected from our NUS, vote George French and be reconnected. Thank you.
Thank you. That's really good. So we've got a couple of questions for the student union again, then we'll open the floor, much as we have done before. So the first question is, I think you sort of answered it in itself, but we'll go down that route anyway. So what are your views on the effectiveness of NUS?
It's not very good. It's not very good. We're supposed to be part of a union that represents 95% of our students across the whole of this nation. And it's just, no one knows about it. No one knows what they're campaigning for. They're actually campaigning against the NSS at the moment, the National Student Survey. They're saying that it's rubbish. They're saying that this is the reason for the gold standard, the silver standard, and the bronze standard. They're separating the universities through this survey. And no one knows about this. No one knows about the boycott. Who knows about this boycott before I just mentioned it? 1, thank you. 2, 3. And of course, our LVD over there. That's not a lot of people. So now I want to make sure the NUS is visible to everyone and that everyone can be represented through that way, and that's only with me.
And then secondly, building on the NUS, what key messages would you take from the students to the NUS conference?
Well, I'm currently campaigning, and I'm actually asking, what do you want to hear? What do you want to see at this university from our National Union of Students? And lots of people have said they want to see a combination, they want to see other universities, what they're doing, they want to see how they're doing compared to us, and so on and so forth. Well, the university, the National Union of Students are currently doing that. But you don't know about that, do you? You don't know that there's a web system going on where they connect universities, they're trying to connect universities. That's a campaign that started in January. You don't know about that. Well, let's get to know about that. Let's start to have people campaigning, telling you that that's the issue, that that's what's going on. And that's one of the main reasons why I'm running for this, is to represent everyone so that you know what's going on in our nation, what is it? I forgot what I'm running for. In our NUS.
Is there any questions from the floor? So the question was, considering the recent bad press of the NUS, can we be sure that no bad press will reflect this?
We can't be sure of that, actually. And it's important that we get ourselves out there and say that we're actually looking at this bad press, and we've seen this bad press, and we're changing it. We want the National Union of Students to change. We want the NUS to change. Because at the moment, the bad press is terrible. The reasons that they have are just disgusting, and I think that they're not pushing themselves out there, they're not getting involved, it's only negative, and we can only change that through actual action, rather than sitting back and saying, oh, let's just ignore it. We have to actually change that.
Thank you. We have a question from Twitter. You'll be representing our student union at the conference and voting for the new NUS officers. Have you read the manifestos and made a choice?
I have read some of the manifestos, but I haven't made my choice yet. That's my issue. I have actually read them, promise.
Thank you.
And obviously, looking at the two sides, but there are more than you are there as a representative of the university and our students. So say there are students who genuinely feel they are being represented by them, will you ensure that?
Yeah, most definitely. Go on, yeah.
Sorry. The question was, there's two sides to a story, and there are some students who may think NUS are doing the right thing for students at the moment. Can we be sure that you'll effectively represent both sides?
Yeah, definitely. The conference is in around a month and a half away, and I won't be the only one going there. There will be 3 candidates going there. The president will go there, I will go there, and then another select from the Education or Sports Society VP. And that's really where that representation will have to come from. We'll have to speak to the students over the next month and a half. We'll have to get your views on it. And I can't say too much on what's going to be said because it's you guys that want to say it. It's you guys that need to be represented. You guys need to speak to me, and I'll go speak to you to make sure I know exactly what you want from our National Union of Students.
I find one here for your student union. It's quite a generic question. Answer how you see it is. What experience do you have of representing this?
Well, I've worked with Student Switch Off, for example, last year, which is a volunteer campaign last year about saving the environment, helping people turn off lights and It sounds so simple, but it's an important issue at this university. And the NUS worked with that actually, and that was positive by them, so that's another representation of them. But I've worked with many different campaigns, and I feel that this one is massive for me. As someone who works quite a lot, I don't really feel like I'm going to run for any of these other positions. I need one that's a smaller position, but actually still creates just as much issues around the university, so I can represent everyone.
So the question was, you showed a few negative views towards your NUS. How do you think the best supporters of the university?
Well, one of my main things I've looked at is I want them to offer more placements, to actually help us on national businesses to offer more placements to students. Because it's really hard to find a placement, and this university and all universities try to get them within a time limit. So you find a lot of students rushing to find them. Well, can the NUS actually work with these businesses to provide us with placements so we have some? I know the university does that at the moment, but can we do that on a national level? And that's really the main issue that I want to push.
Thank you. So if you give George a round of applause. So that brings to close our debate today. Thank you everyone for coming. Remember, voting is open. It's open from now until Friday at 1 o'clock. There are 2 polling booths, one by Mary Reception on St John's campus, and also one Charles Hastings. And please do remember that every vote counts. Make sure you get yourself and your friends to vote. We want as much as we can this year. We really want to smash out the park, so to speak. So really get involved. Again, thank you very much for watching. See you soon.